Hey y'all, welcome back to the All Black Matters podcast. I'm your host, Rivka, and thank you so much for coming back. I just want to say thank you so much for the support of my first episode back. I really just am really proud of myself, and I'm happy that I am trusting my own instincts, and I'm happy that I have a support system like y'all that trusts what I'm doing and you believe in it. So thank you so much for tuning in and being here and listening, watching, and all of the things. I feel like today's going to be a really good episode. I'm really excited to talk about the things that we're going to get into. This one is going to be about community. If you guys don't know, June is Pride Month. I want to get into some community talk. We're going to talk about community, not just queer community, but all of the identities that make up my community. Because, we get a little personal today. So if you're interested in learning more about that or hearing more about that, definitely stay tuned. All right, y'all. I had a whole script. I have a whole paper down here, a whole bunch of stuff that I was going to talk to y'all about. But I'm just honestly, I just want to talk from my heart. I feel like it works out better for me when I just say what's on my heart and what's on my mind. I feel like it comes across a lot more authentic. So that's what we're going to get into today. So happy Pride. Happy fucking Pride to all of my beautiful LGBTQIA community. Okay, my girls, the girls and the girls. Okay, the theys and the thems. Hi, hi, hi. Happy Pride to all of y'all. Happy Pride to all of us. I'm so excited, y'all. Do you know how long it's taken me to start to accept myself as part of this community? If we're gonna start off honest and straight, if we're gonna really get into it, if I'm really gonna be straight up no filter with y'all, like I said I was going to last episode, I'm not in a place where I'm fully accepting of my identity as of yet. I still feel like I'm way further than I was before. And I'm proud of that. I'm really, really proud of that. I'm out, which is a weird thing because I never had conversations with my parents about my queerness, but I also have had conversations to literally everybody else. And so it's a weird thing. The whole relationship with my parents is a whole different story as well. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, just I'm queer and I'm out and I'm operating and living my life as a queer person. I've joined committees and been working within the community in a way that isn't super deep, but also it's really fulfilling. I feel like it's been amazing to kind of navigate the world as a queer person. I know that sounds probably to some of y'all girl, okay, it's not that deep. To me, it is. It's a stark contrast from what my life used to be like. Sis was fully religious. So I was on the extreme other side of things, long skirts, holy water and oil, trying to pray the gay away. It's not funny, but whatever. That's just what it was, to be honest. So to be in a place in my life where I'm almost 30 years old, I'm out, I'm living my life as a queer person, that feels like such a victory to me, such a victory. And I'm still kind of processing that. But we'll get into it. We'll get into that. Anyways, I just want to say happy Pride before we got into this episode. Thank you so much to all my queer babies that are tuned into me, that follow, that support. I love all of you. And I have a special place in my heart for my queer babies because, be chilling with the LGBTQ. And then with the LGBT. Anyway, today, as I mentioned, I wanted to talk about community as a whole and how I relate to community, how I've experienced community up until this point, and what I hope to experience going forward in my life. And I hope that some of this stuff resonates with y'all because I feel like I'm almost 30 and I feel like the stuff that I've been able to learn over my 20s, one, to a certain extent, I feel like we're all kind of having a very similar experience. It's not the same experience, but we could share. We have a lot of things that we could talk about that, what am I kind to do? I'm a mother. So, sometimes the kids act up. Anyway, even though we don't have the same exact experiences within our communities and different identities, what I've learned over the past, almost 10 years of my 20s, oh my God, I'm getting older. But what I've learned is that, there's so much that we have in common. There's so much more that I feel like unites us than divides us. So sometimes just sharing it is just, helpful. So anyways, I'm going to start with, when I first got into my 20s. When I first became an adult, right? And I guess adult in real life, but adult because you think when you're 18, I'm grown. Child, there's just so much you have to learn and grow as you go through life. And I'm still growing and learning. But, anyways, when you're 18, you just think you know everything already because you just no longer a child. I didn't understand what community really meant, or the version that I thought it was at the time was just having friends. Like, I just thought I just wanted to have friends. I just wanted to be popular. Like, I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to feel like I was important to them. You know what I mean? Like, just wanted to feel like needed and wanted and validated by the people that were just so happened to be in my life at the time, which is so bizarre when you think about it. But I think that's a lot of people. Like, right, when you're 18, 19, you just think the people around me are going to be my people. And these are like my besties, and they're going to go through life with me, and they're going to make it all worth it. And, we're going to look back when we're 50 years old and be like, oh my God, remember when we were in college and da-da-da. And that's really, really how you think. And then I think quickly, my life started changing pretty early into my adulthood. I mean, childhood too, but like in terms of my adulthood, when it came to community, a lot of things shifted for me very early into like my 20s. Going through college, my undergrad, which was like 19, 20, 21, those ages, I was graduating mentally. A lot changed for me early on that really, really opened my mind up and my eyes to like what community really was. Because at the time I would have thought my church was my community, right? Because I was really, really deep in the church, like evangelist, dancer, pastor's A, Christian college, minor in Bible, bitch. Like, I was really, really, really like deep into the church. And so my idea of what community was at the time was heavily dependent on those people. It was like really just like my pastors, church congregation, the leaders in the church, my mentors. And then I had like school friends who kind of felt like an extension of the church because I went to a Christian college. So like the same, I'm gonna call it rhetoric now because a lot of it was the same ideologies that I was hearing in church. A lot of those things were just reinforced by the community or the people that I was around in school. It was a private school, so it's not like it's like, you didn't have to go to that school. But yeah, so I think at the time when I was in my early 20s, I thought community was these places that I happened to be a part of that felt like they were going to inform the way that I did my life. That's kind of what I thought community was. Like, these people are going to mold my existence. And in a lot of ways they did, right? But they're going to mold my existence and they're going to be with me for a really long time. And I think like, as I continue to like get older and things change, when I finally left my church community at the time, and I saw the stark contrast to how I was treated when I left, and like how I, you know what I mean? Like how that relationship kind of like fell on its head. So everything I thought about a church community shattered, right, with that experience, but also like how so many parts of my identity was missing. I hid so much of myself away in this idea of what I thought my community wanted me to be, which also changed the way that I saw community, because it's like, if I have to perform in order to be a part of this organization or this space, then is this my community, or is this just, is this something else? When I say like the idea that I had of community shifted really early into my 20s, like that was one of the big moments for me. And I think like from that moment, it was just a catalyst of other really big decisions, and I took really big risks to challenge the ideas that I had once thought of when it came to community. I'm so grateful for my education, as much as it was, I don't want to say tainted, it was colored with a lot of religion, but it gave me so much independence in the sense that I was able to take all of my psych courses and all of the things I learned about, psychology and understanding how some of the theories around how the mind works. And I was practicing that in my real life. Like, I took those things seriously. I started to challenge a lot of my own beliefs. I started to distance myself from the people that I thought like, okay, this doesn't align with who I am anymore. And also the idea of what I thought community is no longer serving me in the ways that I wanted it to serve me. And then I started putting myself in spaces that made me have to confront that. That was around what? I left that church like 23. So yeah. And then I graduated college, and then I was outside. I was outside. So a lot of what I had to learn then around like what friendships look like. Oh my God, there's so much. There's so much. So it was one was the church aspect of like leaving this community that I thought was going to look like this, right? And then I mentioned before feeling like things are going to like have longevity in terms of community, right? And sometimes they do. I'm not saying that those things cannot be possible. I'm also not saying you can't be a part of a church and that be your community and it'd be great. What I'm saying is for me, I thought that this thing was, it was going to like hold me up. And then that got shattered for me when I started to see like, oh, there are a lot of things about me that just aren't enough in this space. They're just not okay in this space. That was a catalyst to like, okay, so then what do my friendships look like? Like what do my friendships serve? How do they serve me? If all of my friends were in this space that I no longer have access to and I no longer want to be a part of, what does it mean to have friendships now? Like, are they supposed to always tell me that I'm wrong and I'm this and I'm that and like critique me? Or are they supposed to nourish me? What does nourishment look like? All of those things started to come up for me. When I say like I was on a journey trying to learn, unlearn things and learn things and try to find community that made sense for me in my whole like journey of trying to understand what it means to be around people that support you, that love you, that care about you. I started being really intentional about, the characteristics of the people that would be. Anyways, long story short, when I first started the journey of like understanding what community meant for me, I think the first thing I noticed was what it wasn't. That church and that environment wasn't safe for me. And once I started to see that, I was like, oh, I need to find somewhere that's safe. From that point until now, though, what I've learned is that there's no linear way to like find your tribe. There's no linear way to like know that the people that you are around are the people that you need to be around. And I think even the idea when I first started trying to like look at what that meant for me, I was trying so hard to find like tangible things about people and things that like would give me the sign that this is the right person, that this is the right place that I need to be in my life. What I learned and what I am learning is that there's no magic thing that you're gonna just know that this person is supposed to be here. And that is not to say that you don't have a feeling of connectivity to somebody, because trust me, that is real, at least in my life. But what I'm learning is that there's no magic pill, there's no magic like potion or no magic words they're gonna say or things they're gonna do that you're gonna be like, oh, you're supposed to be my best friend forever. Like, it just is a thing where you just have to allow life to lead you and allow yourself to be open. I think is the biggest thing that I've learned. Coming out of a situation where you have a lot of trauma, where there's a lot of brokenness and hurt there, you can tend to go into the next environment or situation with this guardedness, with this like shield of like, you're not gonna do what they did to me, right? And for a long time, that was what I was doing. I think to a certain extent, I still do it. There's still a little bit of like, bitch, hold on now, wait a minute. But I think, I think rightfully so, and maybe not rightfully so, but when I first was fresh out of that situation, I didn't go into relationships with an open mind and an open heart. I was looking for people to treat me in the way that I was treated before, as opposed to looking at them for who they were and what they were offering. Whether that was, something that served me or whether that was something that didn't serve me, I think I was looking for the thing that I saw before. And the thing about life is that's just not how it works. Not all the time are you going to see the exact same thing in this next situation that you saw in the previous one. So I think if I were to say something that I've learned, I don't think I come off the bat with that same energy. I'm far more open to like learning people than I think I was before. I think I still am working on the guardedness, but I think in terms of being around friends, being around family, being around people, I'm a lot more open to like, who are you? Tell me who you are. Show me who you are before I kind of like pass judgment. Another thing that I noticed was that I was putting everybody in the same category of people in my life. Overall, I don't think I was very good at like understanding that not every person is going to serve the same purpose in your life in the same way. So you might have a friend that maybe they're really good at listening to your problems, for lack of a better word, or like just a shoulder to cry on, someone that you can confide in, things like that. That same person may not be your turn-up friend. You know what I mean? And I think when I was younger, I wanted my best friend to be everything and all things to me and, all of the things. And I think what's been great about growing up is that you learn that everyone isn't going to do that. You might find a friend that, has a lot of qualities that you love and like it's all in one person and great. But I also think what that does sometimes is put you in a position of looking to this like a codependency, like that codependent relationship. It can be a tricky thing because no one person should ever be your source of peace, your source of, joy. You should be able to find that independent of another person. It's great when somebody can offer you those things to a certain extent, but you should never be seeking out everything that makes you happy in one person. But in the same token, it's okay to allow someone to show up for you. But I think the way that I was looking at it when I was younger was that one person would do all of those things and always show up in every way that I expected them to without me asking. There was a lot of things that I was just like assuming and putting on this one person or putting on these few friends that just wasn't fair, I don't think that's something that you get when you're younger. It takes life. It takes going through things for you to understand that, like, that's not their job. It's not the job of your friends or your best friend even to be your end all be all, And I had to learn that the hard way. Friendship breakups, feeling neglected, feeling abandoned, you know what I mean? It teaches you. Sometimes it's not even on the other person. It's just things that you may have gone through that you expect from these people in your life that they're not always going to show up in that way. So all of that to say, you might have a friend that's really good at this thing that you really, really appreciate and you enjoy. Celebrate that. You guys have a good exchange of whatever they need and you show up and you know what I mean? Like, celebrate the thing that makes you happy in this relationship. Don't look for that person to then also do XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. What I can appreciate now about the way that I look at community is that I'm not looking for people to be everything. There are different people that can serve different purposes in your life. And that has been really rewarding. Also, being intentional about when it comes to like activities and things like that, being in spaces that people already are enjoying the things that you want to enjoy, as opposed to trying to bring people that you have this one connection in this one way with, or maybe you have a couple different connections with this person, but you're trying to bring them out of this sphere into the sphere that you want them to be in. I've learned not to do that. Then you just disappoint yourself. Let your friends that you do this with be the friends you do this with. I've had to like be really comfortable with doing things alone. A lot of things alone. Because that's where you find the people sometimes, not all the time. I wouldn't say go do it just to find friends, but like I found that the best relationships that I've been able to form are with people that are in spaces I enjoy being in. The community that I'm building now is very reflective of my soul. Is the only way I could put it. I'm only connected with people genuinely that I feel we already have this thing in common. Whether it's something that's like you like to draw and I like to draw. You're not looking for anybody else necessarily to draw with, but you just really like to draw. And so you'll do it by yourself. Like, you're just drawing like because you like it. But I also love to draw. And I'm doing it because I love to do it. And I don't care who else knows about it. You know what I mean? And those connections to me have been the most fulfilling. There was also a time I used to obsess about finding my tribe. And I realized that when I'm just allowing myself to go through life, doing the things that I enjoy, not waiting for somebody else to join me on that path, has been the most rewarding. It forces you to look at the people around you when you're embarking on this new journey, and it makes you like, if Sally, Sue, and David are all people that I'm cool with right now, everything that I want to do though, none of them want to do. In no capacity or not interested at all. Maybe I need to just kind of go over here a little bit and do the things that I enjoy doing and take a little step away from Sally, Sue, and David and understand, like, why exactly am I cool with Sally, Sue, and David if everything that I want to do, they're not interested in? Like, what is the thing that connects us then? Because in my previous experience, I would have thought just because we, Sally, Sue, and David, all grew up together and we all went to school together, we supposed to be friends for life. And it's like, not really. That's not just about like friends. That can be about family members. That can be about people that you have colleagues. Sometimes colleagues is a little different. But like, it could be family and friends. You know what I mean? It could be a relationship, a romantic relationship that you have. It's like, damn, like everything I like to do, this person does not like. What exactly do we have in common again? Like, what exactly are we here doing together? Is it just the aesthetic? Is it just because we both fly? Is it just because we both are in the same region geographically? Like, what exactly is the thing that is uniting us if everything that I like, this person does not even want to be a part of? There was a lot of times that I was doing things just by myself. I still do a lot of things by myself. But what happened, which was beautiful, is that I started to meet other people that also enjoyed those things. And then it kind of like started to become a snowball effect. Oh, you also like this. Oh my gosh, you have this connection. Oh my gosh, you're also on this journey. Oh my gosh, da, da, da. And now it's like, I'm starting to see momentum build. So I've been really happy about that, y'all. I've been really, really happy. And the other thing is like not assigning a whole lot of expectation to things, which is something that I did in the beginning when I first was getting into my 20s. Was like every person that I met, I was like, we're gonna be best friends. We're gonna da-da-da-da. And it's like now I'm just like, hi, hello, I'm Rivka. Nice to meet you. Okay, that's what you do. Okay, great. I'm not coming out of that exchange with any expectation of the other person. I'm literally taking what this person says, who they are at face value, and not expecting anything past that, even if it's an amazing encounter. It's been great for me so far. I think there's definitely some healing I still need to do. Wounds don't just go away. So there's gonna be still remnants of certain things. I think I've learned to just kind of allow God, allow my life, allow my path to just show itself to me to a certain extent, and to be open and intentional about the things that I care about, and trust that that's gonna lead me to where I need to be and around the people that I need to be around. I prioritize being in Black spaces because if I didn't, I wouldn't be in Black spaces. I prioritize being in queer spaces and queer Black spaces. Again, if I didn't prioritize that, I wouldn't be in those spaces. What I've noticed too is, like when you're younger, I don't know if this is the case for everybody, but when I was younger, I found myself in a lot of really beautiful, environments that is so hard to find when you're an adult. I used to be around queer, Black, Caribbean people all the time when I was a kid. I just took it for granted. I'm looking now at my adulthood, and there are definitely people that I've since met, but just it is an intention that I'm setting to be in spaces that will be conducive to finding that, because queer Blackness was just a part of my life in a way that I just didn't even think about. And now I feel like I'm craving that, right? I want to be around more people that understand Blackness and queerness together, but also the Caribbean aspect of it, that, all those intersectionalities. And I'm definitely finding it more now. But I just felt like it was so easy when I was a kid. I was like, oh yeah, this is just life. But yeah, I feel like the journey that I've been on and where I am now is a really beautiful place. Not assigning a lot of value immediately to the people that I meet or to the elements of the community that I feel like I'm seeing now. When it comes to family, that's still a thing. They are part of communities to a certain extent. I've made my friends my family, and that's kind of been the way it's been for a long time. I am not super close to anybody in my family like that, and the people that I am closer to, it's not been the easiest to navigate that. I think that's a work in progress for me, to be honest. When it comes to the family aspect, it just is what it is. I can't really do much about that. The rest of my life in terms of community has been so fruitful that I don't feel like I'm as affected by the family stuff as I was when I first started trying to seek out community. And then the cultural aspect, I still really, really, really find value in understanding, for instance, my Caribbean heritage. That's something I really, really, really want to be more connected to in terms of community. I just played Mass for Atlanta Carnival. I might insert a little clip of me winding up. On this stone. If you're I need a little runaway. You're coming home for carnival. I need a little runaway. I met somebody when I was playing Mass by myself in Atlanta, and now I have another buddy to go play Mass and fete and do all the things with. So it's been great. I think what I would like to see going forward when it comes to community is maybe to solidify, or I wouldn't say solidify connections, but kind of have more of a safety net in a way that feels like I can acknowledge it or I can recognize it. I have amazing people in my life. And even some of the people that are no longer in my life, I see value in that relationship or those relationships, right? It's been great. Honestly, it's been hard, with some of them, but it's been great. I've loved, and I've lost. And so now I'm just kind of I have this I don't attach very easily to people or to things. And what has been great about that, and I know, don't try to read me, I know there's some things there, but what has been great about that is that I can just enjoy the moments. And what I hope in the future, it will be great to then get to a point where I can literally not worry about nobody in my life. I think because of how I look at the world now, the experiences again that I've had, I trust you for the moment. We're cool, we're great, we're good, but do I trust you with my life for real? I don't know about that. And it would be great to eventually get to a point where it's oh no, that's my dog. I don't gotta worry about nothing with this person. Maybe that comes, maybe that doesn't. I'm okay regardless. But if I were to see a thing that would be great to experience at least once, would be that. And again, this is no shade to people in my life. Y'all are amazing. Everybody's great. This is just something that I think, looking at myself, looking inwardly, it would be amazing to kind of like have that and feel that, you know? Overall, my perspective has evolved so much. I'm so grateful for the experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly that I've had, because they've all gotten me to a place where I am today, to appreciate the people that come into my life. Whether you're coming into my life for like 10 minutes or whether you're coming into my life for like ever, I am so appreciative. I know that the moments are precious and it's not always gonna last forever. So now I'm like, oh damn, like I wanna enjoy you. If we're just gonna kiki and laugh for like 30 minutes in this like room because, you know, we both came to the same party and maybe we both are socially awkward and we're just kikiing for 30 minutes, I cherish those 30 minutes. Or maybe we know each other for like 5 years and it's like an amazing 5 years. I'm gonna make the best out of those 5 years because tomorrow's not promised, but also like this relationship may or may not last past that. You know what I mean? So I'm more tuned in to like appreciating the people that I encounter now. And I'm so happy that like I pushed myself to get to this point. If y'all don't hear nothing else I'm saying, please understand that you can definitely have what you are looking for. It might not be exactly a perfect picture, but understand that there is community for you. Please do not feel like you are alone, because you're not. Honestly, coming from a Caribbean, very Pentecostal background, I know it's not easy. There are spaces that you can feel seen, you can feel heard. Even if you're not a queer person and you're just trying to find maybe Black community and maybe some other type of community. Maybe you just want to find more people that like anime. I don't know. It's something to be intentional about, but also just do it because you care about it. And I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I hope that was helpful. Please let me know in the comments down below. Have you had trouble finding community? Are you still finding it? What are you seeking out now? I want to talk to y'all. I want to know what y'all think. I want to kiki. Let's kiki in the comments, baby. Or write me. My email is always in the description. So please definitely tap in. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with me, for listening, for, you know, kind of being on this journey with me in this new direction that we're going, the revamp. That is how I feel about community. And that is today's episode. I'm your host, Rivka, and I will see you guys again in 2 weeks.
Hey guys, Future Rivka coming here to just let you know that the podcast schedule is actually going to be monthly, on a monthly cadence. I just want to make sure that I am giving y'all what I intend on giving y'all and what I say I'm going to do. I'm going to stick to that. So instead of it being on a bi-weekly cadence, it's going to be on a monthly cadence for right now. But thank you guys again so much for tuning in, and I will catch you again in July.